Hi, Auntie. Auntie, good evening. Auntie,
Yeah,
welcome to the
thank you. Thank
conversation.
you. It's good to be here.
It's good to
Thank
meet
you
you,
for
Mama.
joining us.
Mm.
Inyene did mention that you should put in the chat, in the comments, where you're joining us from. So I think I'll start with myself. I'm joining from Manchester, UK. And Inyene, what about you?
I'm joining from Glasgow, Scotland.
And
I'm joining from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria.
yes. That's what we are talking about. Oh, Taiwo joining from UK. The real joining from Port Harcourt. Yeah, I used to live in Port Harcourt a while back. So,
Mm. Taiwo
I,
is putting flags. Taiwo thinks we're good in flags. Don't go and put the one. Hi, welcome, Cafe 10. Where are you joining from? I think that's one of my students. I'm not very sure.
actually, Poshan from Port Harcourt. Bukarut from Abuja. Thank you for joining us. I think we've just hit the 7:05 time, so we'll just start because we have a lot to talk about today. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this exciting Instagram live. Like when we started, I said this is my first time, so please be gentle with me. so so today we are going to be exploring the deep connections between our names, our culture, and our identity. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. And I think it's best for me to introduce myself, then introduce our speakers as well. So my name is Itoro. I am a lecturer in the UK, but first and foremost, I am from Akwa Ibom, was born and brought up in Akwa Ibom. So I'm a full-fledged Ibibio. So child of the soil, child Ibibio, that's Ibibio child.
Yeah.
So I am a full-fledged Ibibio child. And it was as a result of different conversations I've had with people that stemmed to this conversation about around our names, our culture, our identity. And I'm going to introduce our one of our speakers, Mrs. Ini Ite. I call her my big auntie because she's doing things in terms of preserving our Ibibio language, our culture, our heritage, and she's going to share her experience and also a couple of things regarding the topic, what we are talking about. And she is the author of a lovely book, Ekonke, Our Stories. I'm going to show you guys at some point because I have a couple of copies. Then we also have Dr. Inyene and Ini. I met her through social media and we've become 5 and 6. And she's a lecturer in University of West of Scotland. And she's also very passionate. She's daughter of the soil. She's always very passionate about the Ibibio language, the culture, and our heritage. So everyone, welcome to this wonderful conversation. I think I'll just start off. Ian, I'll start with you. So I know your name is Iene and your last name is Nkanta. So your first and your last name are all indigenous names. So what is the meaning of your name?
Inyene is wealth. That's the meaning of my name, is wealth. And I'm very happy about my name. Mkanta is more like 3 times. I don't know the significance of that. At least I know the significance of my own. It's wealth. That Nkanta 3 times, maybe 3 times wealthy. Let me put it that way. A Comdo Dorothy. So that's my name. My name is Inyene and it means wealth.
Do you have any idea why that name was given to you, the name Iene?
Um, um, I think from what my mom told me, they thought I was going to be born on a Sunday, And for my mom, I don't know why she was expecting that I was going to come on a Sunday. And for my mom, she thought that Sunday was a very significant day, a day where Christians would go to church. She just felt that it was a blessed and a wealthy kind of day made of riches. But I actually came on a Saturday. But she said, I actually came on a Saturday, but she said she had already reserved the name because she was thinking I was going to be born on a Monday. And she said that she believed that I was going to bring, the family, the wealth and riches that, they were yearning for and all that. And it makes so much sense to see that every name that our parents give to us, there's a significance about, that name. So that's what I really know about the history behind my own name.
Why I asked that question is because I know our names are more than just labels. They mean something, they are significant. It could be something around our history, our family history, it could be around something around our culture, even a personal significance, our parents' personal significance. That's why I asked that question. Auntie, please, why Ini?
Thank you very much. My full name, which I've not answered for a long time, is Inyene, as my father gave me. When I asked them why Ini, because Ini simply means, Inyene means God's time or the Lord's time. It's easy to probably think that you know the meaning, but it is very important for you to find out from your parents why that name. So a day came and I asked them. I was told that when it was time for me to come forth as a baby, I stayed long in the womb and they were like worried, anxious, and they didn't know what to do, but they just had to keep waiting. So at the end of the day, I was born. So they now said, indeed, this is God's time. And they named me Inyene.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective in terms of naming, because to be honest, I've not really asked my parents why Itoro, but I'm just happy and excited that I have my name is Itoro. I've never really thought about asking my parents why the name, but the most incredible thing for me is that I bear an indigenous name. That's the most important thing to me. And for my name is Itoro, and the meaning of my name is praise. And sometimes people ask me, is it Itoro Bong? I was only given Itoro. And I think that praise means a whole lot of things. Praise in times of sadness, praise in times of joy, praise in every time, just praise. So that's the meaning of my name in case you're not from Akwa Ibom or you don't know the meaning. So that is the meaning of Itoro, praise. And so just look at your name. So Inyene, Ini. Do you feel that your name represents who you are? Auntie, will you go first?
Okay, I'll say that I love my name because it's time. Time is a very, very priceless thing that nobody can pay for your time. And once you don't keep your time well, you don't use your time well. Once it's lost, it's lost. The Bible says there is time for everything under the sun. I'm particular about the name time because if you give me an appointment, I love to keep to time. I remember a day came, I needed to meet up with a woman. The very first thing I told her was that I'm particular about my name. And because I'm particular about my name, I would like her to keep to time. Sadly, she now told me, oh no, Auntie, I have never kept to time. I was like, really? But this time you have to because you can't waste my own time. She showed up and her name, if we were to call her in Ibibio, her name was Inyene. Patience. That means maybe she could just let things roll, maybe not really mind, but I do mind. Thank you.
Oh, so more or less two different names playing out, time and
Playing for
patience.
an appointment.
Yeah. Oh, what about you?
Yeah, I think my name has played a major I would say being proud of my native name, has helped me to really embrace my cultural identity and my heritage. That's the truth. When I especially coming to live in a foreign land, and I bear the name, I'm even so happy that let me tell I have an English name, or more like a Bible name, because I come from a Catholic family. And so I think they named me Mary. But I kid you not, if you call Mary now, I'm not going to turn, because I don't even know that is my name. I probably would not, because I've never heard the name, but that is my baptismal name that you will call me. And it's the same thing with my brother. My elder brother too is in Yobong. If you call him Linus now, I don't think you will ever know you're actually talking, to him. So yes, my name, as it's called, wealth. Sometimes when things happen, and maybe when I'm expecting something, it's not really financial, not in the financial aspect of it, but when things are not going the way that I'm expecting, or I'm expecting something, I'm believing God for something, it just comes to me, look, your name is wealth. It will come. It
Yeah.
will just come. Even when even when I'm believing for financial resources, and then even my friends, my family would always, play out my name for me. That one is well too. She has the money. You can't ask her. You don't know the meaning of her name. So yes, my name really, really resonates and reflects on a lot of things that I do, and I'm always really happy about the name. And I think another thing that makes me even more excited about my name, we're not many that bears Inyene. So
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, because for me, anywhere you see, even my work, anything Itoro, and when I'm even writing my name, I tend to try to find a way to link where I'm from, so that I am from not just Nigeria, I am from Akwa Ibom. So if you go to my work profile, you'll see something around Akwa Ibom on my work profile, to show you how proud I am of my name. My parents, all my siblings, none of us have English names. None. Everybody is Ibibio all through. And I think in terms of our names, we can also see how it's more or less everybody, our names is a true representation of who we are. Just thinking about my name, my siblings, my sisters, my brothers, their names, even my other extended families, is a true representation of who we are, and nobody can take it away from us. So my next question is, have you ever, ever thought about changing your name?
I would say that I've never thought about changing my name or having an English name. But growing up when I was in federal government college, Warri, far away from home, a lot of people found it difficult to pronounce the name Inyobong. They were now saying Inibong and all sorts of stuff. So, and I didn't want the name to be bastardized. So I now let off the Obong thing. But there were people who kept asking me, don't you have a Christian name? I'm like, what is a Christian name? My name is my name. So I've never thought about having any other name. And when I had a daughter many years back, my husband asked me, what do you want to call her? And I said, Abasiofon. Abasiofon means God is good. So when I pray for her, I'm like, let there be a manifestation of your name upon your life. Let the goodness of God be seen in your life. And my mother, her grandmom, named her Owodiene.
Mm.
A human being is wealth. So no matter what you have in terms of finances, every other thing you may have, houses and cars, the greatest wealth a human being from the Ibibio, that's Akwa Ibom perspective or worldview, can have is a human being to call yours.
Mm.
I remember years back in Lagos, I had a friend who believed so much in dogs. she could have a vet doctor care about her dogs. One day she had a baby and it changed her world view. She was like, she never really thought about having a baby, but now the baby can pick a cup of water for her, but the dog couldn't have done that. So in naming, I have always believed in Ini because I also believe that because I'm named Ini, I can even bring forth fruit at any time, even in my old age. I don't see it as my timing is peculiar. Thank you.
Oh, so Auntie will not change her name for anything. Even if Auntie, what if they give
Nah,
you $1 million? Will you take it to change your name?
no, I love my name. It works for me. My name works.
Yeah. Inyene, what about
Mm,
you?
I think I've already answered that question, that I have one name that they gave me, Mary. And I have never, I know even with my brother, we've joked before, oh, maybe you didn't like Mary if they gave you some other name. I said no. And to be honest, maybe back home in Nigeria, I would have probably thought about at this age, oh, maybe changing my name. But the truth is that there is pride in a native name. There's just this pride. There's just this confidence that I have with my native name. It's a way of accepting and celebrating myself. It's a way of identifying where I come from, especially being in a foreign country. So because you can imagine that if I was bearing a name like maybe I was bearing a name like Justina, it's more like, where is my root tied to? I'll probably be finding, and please do not take offense if you have an English name. It's not, to make anyone to be offensive here on this live, but just to answer the question that Itoro asked me. So there's this pride and confidence that I really have, without even feeling there's a need to alter or shorten my name. I don't feel that, because it's Inyene. And to be honest, people who make effort tend to pronounce it. They
Yes.
do. Because once you just say Inyene, I tell them, I said the N is silence. I tell them, I said the N is Inyene. The N is silence, is Inyene. So just take away the N from it and pronounce like you're pronouncing Iyene. And you see, a lot of people will pronounce it Inyene, so I've never thought to shorten my name in any way, maybe to fit other people's preference. I have not. That is the name, and it works for me. So why would I change my name? And it's also my cultural, I identity, because I believe that the fact that my parents gave me that name, like somebody on the comment section, I think that's Dorothy, is talking about the fact that names carry weight, and it does, So I am proud of my native name because it's a powerful form of my self-expression and my cultural affirmation. So I have never thought of changing this name, Inyene. In short, I am a very local person, if you know me very well. So
And you agree, you accept to be local, and you're not.
yes, I am. In short, let me even something on this live, is that sometimes we don't get what we really want, but for someone like me, I would have really, 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 really wanted to marry an Akwa Ibom person, not for anything or for the language. Let me be speaking Yantang Ikong Kangen, Ikong Makarasinka, that kind of thing, So,
So let me just interpret what Ian has just said. She said that she would have loved to
mm.
marry someone from Akwa Ibom so that she can speak the language with the person because she gets tired of speaking English. So yeah, for those of you that don't understand Ibibio.
so you now understand the kind of person I am. In short, even when I'm with my friends, they always see that this Inyene, if you don't speak this language, how do you feel if you don't speak this language? So I am very proud of my identity, and I'm very proud of my name.
Yeah. So um I asked that question because when I did the post on Instagram, I did mention that I am people changing their names, and I have, unfortunately, as a lecturer here, I came across an Akwa Ibom student, And when I asked her name, she told me her name. That's sorry. The whole idea came about the people changing their names. And when I asked her name, she told me her name was Promise. And with me being a lecturer, and I was teaching her, I had access to the class list. And when I saw the name on the class list, I didn't see Promise. So I was wondering, is it that this lady is not in my class or something? And only for me to see Enwongo. It now clicked that her name is Enwongo Abasi. But as she moved to the UK, she changed her name to Promise. So that was why how this whole conversation started. So the whole idea of, number one, parents change, not just parents, people changing their names to English names because people cannot pronounce my name. Some English names I cannot pronounce it. Some English names I cannot pronounce it, but I make an effort. So allow them to make that effort to pronounce your name as well. And going back to what I posted, now the narrative in Akwa Ibom is every child has to bear an English name. What happened to our indigenous name? Like we said when we started, they have beautiful meanings. There are stories behind those names. So what is you should help me, what is going on? What is happening?
I think if I can just go in, is because some people are kind of ignorant, I'll put it that way. We're ignorant, and we are trying to be more westernized than the Western people, because I'll put it that way, we're trying to be more westernized than the Western people, because I believe that names comes with resilience. And I'm going to explain when I say names. Our indigenous name comes from resilience. If you look at then the Akwa Ibom people, the house girl thing, that we're known for, how, and all, you all understand what I'm trying to say. So there's that cultural, maybe, will I say, pressure to conform to maybe the society, because we're known for a particular kind of, maybe we're known for the housemaid and all that. So there is that pressure that you want to conform. Oh, I don't want to really identify, like, rather let me identify myself with English names so that people don't identify me to that part of the people. So sometimes that is what leads to name changes. Yes, sometimes. And like you gave an example of one of your students. Her name is Enwon. Apart from the fact that she might think, oh, it's very hard to pronounce, it could be it could be the pressure being in the United Kingdom. Oh, would people know how to pronounce my name? Would people laugh at the way my name sounds, and and all that? So she's conforming to that pressure, and then she now thinks that, oh, maybe just saying it in English, changing the name, would kind of give her some kind of, I don't know, some kind of relief. But the truth is that, and I'm saying here to us, to people who are living in foreign countries, Akwa Ibomites, if the whole of Nigeria, that holding on to your native name can be the act of resistance and resilience against any pressure. Holding on to your native name, like I hold on to Inyene anywhere that I go to. I don't think I've ever even tried to even, maybe shorten. No, call me. The only thing I tell people is that if you are having issue in calling my first name, call me Nkanta. That's what I tell people. I say, because Nkanta is easier, the way it's just spelled, you can just say it. So holding on to our native name can be an act, I actually wrote it down, can be an act of resistance and resilience against any form of pressure of, oh no, I don't want to bear my name. And also our native names are a way to showcase our cultural diversity.
Yeah.
So what if imagine that she's actually from Akwa, and I'm looking Promise, and there's nothing that links in any way to say, oh, this person is from this. So being proud of your name, you promote the idea that names, languages, and identity deserves respect and recognitions. And that's for me. My name deserves respect. I am calling you Sean. I respect it. I am calling you one of the, because I've been opportunity to go to countries that they don't speak English and they have names Lekan. I will try and pronounce it. I'm respecting you. I am recognizing that you are Norwegian. I am recognizing that you are German. So anywhere I go to, I call my name, beating my chest out. I am Inyene. You need to respect it. And it shows recognition that I'm a Nigerian and I am from Akwa Ibom State.
Well spoken. Auntie, do you want to add to that? And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I just want to ask if you want to add to what Ian has just said.
I agree absolutely with what she has said, because our names are our identity. It is our names that first identify us as humans. And when we bear our indigenous names, it shows the world exactly where we come from. You could be somewhere outside this place. Somebody runs into you by your name. The person easily identifies with you. But just as you've said, we've had a lot of people changing their names as young adults, because just as she had said, they do not understand the meaning of their names, or that their names being used in the indigenous languages carries a lot of promises, because names sometimes come as a prayer. I ran into a young girl. I heard somebody call her Good Luck. So I was like, is that her surname? The auntie said, no, that is not her surname. That is her first name. So I now asked, so why the Good Luck? She said, oh, her name is Mfoni, so that the child changed it when she got to school and started answering Good Luck. I was like, no, that is wrong. Find a way to get her back to her roots, because that Good Luck is an empty word. It offers nothing. When you call her Mfoni, so it could mean more. It could have impact her life more. I've also run into a Facebook friend who goes by the name Ability. I'm like, that doesn't sound like the name your parents gave you. She said, yes, mom, that her parents gave her Ukeme. She now went on to Ability. Ability doesn't identify her as a human being. So I now told her, no, it is wrong. If anybody wants to do any work with you and sees that name on Facebook, the person may be turned off. It may be like, how could you be answering that? So it is very important for people to understand that in naming, parents name children based on the circumstances in their families at that time, based on their expectations, maybe from God, maybe from the child, maybe from the universe. Names were like prayers. So it's like if a father, mother named a child, the child should find out the meaning and hold on to it, because indeed there shall be a manifestation. It may not come immediately, but surely names speak, because each time you keep speaking that name, calling that name, the atmosphere carries the weight of that name and causes blessings to come upon the child or children. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie. So I've just seen a comment from Dorothy. Some indigenous names have negative meanings. Yes, we understand that. And you mentioned that linked to idolatry, which is why many Christians choose to change their names. Yeah, we understand that some of the indigenous names have are not in terms of the meaning. Some of them are negative. However, you can still change those negative names to still Akwa Ibom, Ibibio, Efik, Anang. or whatever dialect, their native name that means something good to you. So it doesn't necessarily need to, you don't necessarily need to change your name to an English name for it to be good. So you can change from my I'm going to just use my maiden name as an example. My maiden name is Itoro Ekpo. Ekpo, everybody knows the meaning of Ekpo, but that is my name, that is my last name. I know the meaning of Ekpo means masquerade for those of you that don't know. So Ekpo means masquerade. So that is my last name. But I have not changed it. For some another person, they may need to change it because they don't like the meaning of the name. So in terms of all those things, we understand that some of these things happen. Parents can give a name, but it may mean negative, something negative. However, we can still change it to an indigenous name. The whole conversation is around indigenous name. So even if you're changing your name, if you don't like the meaning, you can still change it to a good indigenous name as well. And Poikana wrote, if they can't pronounce Nkwoikana Basi, so be it. Go girl.
Yeah, I think Dorothy made a very
Yeah,
good
yeah.
observation. Yes, some indigenous names are linked. You know, some of them you even hear Mpa, Udi.
Mm, yeah.
There are a whole lot. There are a whole lot of them. But I do have I do have a family friend who, even at young age, in I think FGGC Korobitong, then she was bearing a name she didn't like. She changed it, but she changed it to a native name, indigenous. She changed it to Edima from the name. So yes, when you know, even me, if I was born to know that my name carry that they maybe name me like Udi, me, I would change it before you even say Jack Robinson. So yes, thank you for that, Dorothy. That was a very good comment there. We can always, but what we're trying to say is that let's embrace our identity through our names. Let's embrace our identity. Some people, you just meet them and maybe their name I've met someone whose name was Odudu, and the first thing the person just told me, "What's your name?" Power. I'm like, "Ah, power. What does power mean?" Power as in what? Yeah, and we really do it. Sadly, and it's the truth. And I'm not here to offend Akwa Ibomite, but many of Akwa Ibomite, or some Akwa Ibomite, you don't really find that from the Yoruba people. You don't really find that
Animals.
from the Hausa people. You don't find that from the
Yes,
Igbos. But you find
yes.
it in us that we like to change our name to English name. You don't really see a Yoruba person who is bearing Adebisi telling you one, and their own name is always long. So even if they want to even transcribe it to English, it's too long. They don't really do it. But our people, and I'm sure that's why Itoro is really concerned about this. And I'm sure Auntie too is preaching this message. We like to change our name. You don't find that from people from other ethnic groups. It's really pertaining to people from our own side.
Oh, the real Adam. I'm proudly Hausa. Thank you for supporting us.
Okay, sorry. Let me make some inputs concerning the negative names. Many years back, there was an artist, somebody who used to sing songs in Eket dialect. He did sing that "Umaunye Jufe Kusakendarake." When you have your child, do not name the child Ndarake. Ndarake means I do not rejoice. I do not rejoice because he now sang that when it happens now, so that you don't blame anybody, because in naming the child, I do not rejoice. Ndarake, there is expectation that what you've said will come to be. And when it comes to be, will you be able to take it
Yeah.
on? I know a woman who had first child, a daughter, a daughter, second, a daughter. When she had a third daughter, the husband made a funny noise. She simply said, Kubiarabasi, and that became that child's name. So Kubiarabasi meant that do not defame God. Do not think that God hasn't done you anything good. So, and when she explained that, she said after she named that child, that the husband didn't say anything again about having three girls at home. So when somebody is given a negative name, once you are aware of it, because names speak upon your life, names speak and they will continue to speak. Once you are aware that it's a negative name, it is important to change it to a positive indigenous name, what you believe in. I've seen a very young child, beautiful child. When I asked the child, what is your name? She simply told me, Akebasi. I hadn't heard the name before.
That's my
Akebasi
niece's
means
name.
God's own.
That's my niece's name. My brother, I don't know how he names his children, but the names are so beautiful. Sorry to cut you short. My niece's name is actually Ake Abasi. And that's what she's wearing, Ake Abasi.
You
That's
see?
the beautiful name.
Yes.
That I was in Uyo in July, and whenever I visit home, I make a conscious effort to speak Ibibio, and this is something I think we need to have another conversation around this as well. And I noticed when I tell somebody a toy and a child, a messere, they will answer me, "Auntie, good morning. Abba dear, Auntie, I'm fine. For my mother is inside, and for some of them, they have never ever crossed Itam Junction or even Ikotekpeme Road. They have never crossed it. I understand the whole idea of trying to learn English. However, I think we are missing it somewhere as well. We are now seeing parents restricting their kids from speaking Ibibio. This is the whole identity thing we're talking about. And sorry, that thing pisses me off. When I'm speaking to you in Ibibio, you're telling me I'm fine. Good morning. Auntie, good morning. My mother is inside. Can you just respond in Ibibio? Um the Yorubas, the Hausas, the Igbos, they are so like sometimes I'm always jealous of them. I'm always jealous of the Yorubas because whenever they have an opportunity to speak their language, oh dear, they will speak it to the fullest. But when you meet an Akwa Ibomite outside, oh, I cannot speak the language. What is going on? Please, ladies, help me. What is going on? I know for some people they didn't grow up there, or they've lived outside the country for all their life, so more or less there was nobody to speak it with. But people back home, I'm saying talk about people back home, they don't want their kids to even learn the car, kuka. They don't even want their kids to learn it. What is happening?
I think that the main reason is that these parents do not understand the place of language in the lives of the people. They do not understand it because in the course of meeting parents within Uyo here, I've come across more than a handful who regret not teaching their children, allowing their children to speak Ibibio while they were at home. I've seen a woman, she should have known better, who said that one of the regrets she has in life is not exposing her children to the Ibibio language because even though she has a PhD in some sciences, she probably thought that exposing the children to the language will make them to have the Ibibio accent. But even then, the Igbos, Hausas, the Yorubas, everybody has an accent one way or the other. So her major pain is that her son, who is doing a master's out of the country, is feeling bad Bad in the sense that he can't pick a call and have a private conversation with her without his friends around, hearing and understanding everything he's saying. And that hurts him. Another woman said she went to a church thing and the parents were speaking, the Igbos were speaking with their children, the Yorubas were speaking with theirs, and she sat there naked because the only language she had to share with the children was in English. Those people do not know that a day will come when they will have need for that language. Language is something like a code. People within the language family understand what they say to each other. They can have private conversation. It also creates room for bonding, because even within Ibibio households, there are some words they will use among themselves. You, a guest, you will be lost because they've created that code, those languages, those words to use among themselves, and they are the only ones that understand it. But the good news now is that a lot of people are waking up because time is not on their side. The earlier they wake up and embrace the language, the better for each and every one of them. Thank you.
Auntie, when you were talking, you talked about church. That took me back. I went to the village. I visited my village when I came in July, and I went to church. And growing up, I can remember all those our Ibibio church songs, those choruses that they sing in church. And that's what I was looking forward to, dancing to in church. And I entered the church. From the beginning of the service to the end of the service was English in my village. English, English, English. Then the songs they were singing were English songs. And I told my dad that there's something going on in this church, that maybe he has to have a meeting with the pastor, with the bishop, that we need to go back to that. For me, coming to church on Sunday, to this church on this Sunday, is because I want to hear those Ibibio melodies, Ibibio choruses that I'm used to hearing the English ones. I want to go back to my roots. That's why I came to church, this particular church today. He now told me that he has spoken, that he's tired of talking about it. That even while that these pastors, they preach in English in the village, and the members don't even understand what they've just preached because they don't even understand English. So that's why I said there's a problem. So Inyene,
Yeah, and that's why I said that we're trying to be more westernized than the Western people. And Auntie said something, and I believe, like Auntie said, is ignorance. And there's something I actually, wrote down, that when you celebrate your names, when you celebrate your language, is a way of you promoting where you come from, is a way of you promoting, holding on to that heritage. And it's also actually an integral to your sense of self, which people do not know. It is a sense of self that you have. Until I said it is a code. The language, this language in Itoro, we can't even finish this life if we want to go into language. So, because the name is even a bit, but you see this language, I myself, I am guilty. And I think when I was making that video, I said it in that video that I am guilty. And I'm not trying to make excuse. I wanted to raise my daughter speaking my language, but for some reason she had a delayed speech. So people were now confusing me. No, speak one that she will understand. Speak this. Because I started off with speaking. Me, I am multi. I'm a Fakamanang. I'm a Ibibio all. So because my mom is so I started speaking that with her, but because she had that delayed speech, people were like, why don't you speak English with her, because you will be confusing her. But I remember when I took her, because I was then becoming very concerned, and I took her to the GP, and the GP told me, there's nothing wrong with this child. This child will talk. And he even told me, said, mark today's date. This child would be a chattered box, that you are the one that is going to be telling her, can you just keep quiet.
Tone down.
And truly, it is the same. And he told me something. And I told him that I've been using but I'm now speaking English. He said, no, you should have continued speaking your dialect with her, because a child at this age can learn 9 languages at once. That's what he told me. Said she can learn 9 languages. That wasn't even enough. When I took her to her nursery, her teacher, Mrs. Murphy, I will never forget, said, you can teach her your language, and she will learn English in class. That is a white woman. An English woman told me that. Said, you can speak your dialect, let her learn English in the school. We will teach her English. You teach her your language. And that is what the Asian people are doing. Every Asian child I have seen in this country, for the one, let me talk about the Indians, they speak Punjabi. As small as they are, they speak. But our own, I think it is really ignorance, and that's why we really need this thing that Itoro and Auntie are doing. When we are spreading this awareness, let's not allow our language just go. Let's not allow our language just by like that. Let's not do it. Let's preserve this, our identity. I remember one day I was in the library and I heard a lady. I took Tommy to go and watch something, so I heard a lady speak Ibibio, and I remember I said, Auntie, I don't want Kangen, and she was a bit surprised when I said that. She said that majority of our people, we don't like identifying speaking that dialect. So for her to have seen, yes, I'm pretty, so before people will say, let me say that one. She said, for her to have seen a pretty girl turn to speak the language, she told me that, no, I can't believe it. You just, and I said, Auntie Ndoine Kwa Ibom, I'm from Akwa Ibom, and I identify as one. I don't know if you've ever gone somewhere, Itoro or Auntie, where Itoro has just given an example, but that one is back in the village. Here, that you would know somebody's name. You even see the tag. And you know that, Abadie, and the person will say, oh, hello. And me, I have bad mouth. I've seen people from FGC Calabar here, they will know me, I have bad mouth. What? I don't know one, so, but that's some people feel everybody are telling me, hi, how are you? But I'll just say it directly to you the way it is. So I think it is ignorance, and the more we keep saying this, the more we'll keep preserving our language. And like I said something in my video, God would call our generation out at some point. What happens to our children? Would this identity, would this heritage of us just go like that, where our children, I've told myself, God blesses me with another one, I'm still doing it with my daughter, that child will speak, you go and learn English in school. That's the truth. You will speak, because we have to. And seriously, so this is a very serious conversation. We have to preserve our culture. We need to preserve our culture. Our children, even back home, everybody now is trying to, I even see schools now, children speaking. And I'm like, what is happening? And as Auntie said, everybody has an accent. I live in Scotland. You do not want to hear Scottish accent too. You don't want to. They are proud of it. They even I remember when we moved in newly, Tommy used to go to after school care, and they picked her up in the after school care. The lady called me and said, is Tommy generally quiet, or she just doesn't understand our Scottish accent? That's a Scottish person that told me. They know they have the accent, they embrace it, but our own will be saying, like Auntie said, no, I don't want to teach them the language, so they will not have let them have the accent. That is the way somebody will identify that we are from Akwa Ibom. Someone has said on my on a video that I make that when I'm angry like this and I talk, my accent will come. I said that is very true. It will come out. You must know where I'm from now.
I just like what Otto said. It's not too late to learn. You can do so by being intentional, watch movies in your language, and read books as well. Um, while Inyene was talking about schools, I just remembered I've been privileged to be involved with schools as well. And if I want to say this life, there are schools in Akwa Ibom, primary schools in Akwa Ibom, that have just said parents said they should not teach Ibibio.
What?
Yes, yes. There are schools in Akwa Ibom that have told me personally that parents have told them that they should not teach Ibibio. That if they teach Ibibio in the school, that they are going to pull their kids out of the school. Yes. So these are the issues. These are things we are talking about in terms of language preservation. This is like
On,
we I
on
think we have
yeah.
to have another conversation around this whole language. But while we are still talking about this, I think it's also right for me to for those of you that are interested in learning Ibibio, Uyai was more or less established because of this whole idea of preserving our language, because United Nations has said that there are a couple of languages that are going to go into extinction in the next couple of years, and Ibibio. When I say Ibibio, our indigenous language, Ibibio, Efik, or there are a loads of dialects within Akwa Ibom. They are all of them, not just Ibibio, all of them are going to go into extinction. So as a result of that, we decided that, and also there are also other motives that made me say, okay, I need to contribute my 2 cents towards preserving this beautiful culture, this beautiful language that I have that I can hold firmly to. Before I introduce our resources and also show you Auntie's beautiful book, I want to say a story. There's this story I've heard a couple of times, and I've also met the lady here in the UK. This is what happened, a true life story. This lady had good kids, and she used to more or less, she would just leave the kids at home to quickly go grab something, go grab milk and all. And nosy neighbors saw it. So they noticed that a couple of times she would go out, leave the kids at home, young kids, leave them at home and go and buy something. One of those days, the neighbors called police. Yes. The neighbors called police. And when they went to the house, the police got to the house, they saw the kids at home. The son, picked up the phone. If he did not know Ibibio, those kids would have gone into the system. The boy called the mom and told the mom, Udo ADO. Udo means
Wow.
police are
Wow.
here.
Wow.
Wow.
Udo
Wow.
ADO. The mom,
Wow.
the shop that she went, she just quickly bought the milk and ran back home. And the police asked her,
Wow.
where she said that she just noticed that she was trying to make food for them and noticed that she ran out of milk and she would not be able to take all of them to go and get it. So she quickly ran out to pick it up, and that was it. So
The
imagine
lifesaver.
if he could not say that word Udobod, imagine what would have happened to those kids. So these are, like Auntie said earlier, you can have conversations, you can speak to people and you don't want them to hear what you're saying.
Even some adults on this life that are quite, I don't think they know what to do about this.
Inyene, Inyene,
I'm
Inyene,
not
no,
breaking
don't worry,
any
you're
that
table,
breaking the
no.
table.
I'm not breaking any
no,
table.
the whole no, we are going to help them. We are going to help them because I know a couple of people
Yeah.
are want to learn. So we are here to help and support in any way, shape, or form that we can. So Annie said I didn't know.
And he said, you see, this is what I'm telling you. Because I have spoken Ibibio to the way that I was telling somebody something. I know awawa. The person said, "What is awawa?" I said green. The person said, you even know it to color. I said,
Yeah, so like those of you that want to learn, we have resources that can help you to learn for beginners, and we are still working on more resources. So I'll just introduce you guys to our resources. So we have a couple of books. in terms of our in Ibibio language. So we are doing one language at a time. We cannot do all at once. So we are going to go through Anang, Eket, Oro, all of them. But we have to start from somewhere, and we need your support. It's not just me. We need people to come on board to join this cause as well. I can't do it alone. And myself, we can't do it alone. So we need people to join us. So we have beginner books. If you can see it on the screen, we have some books here. Don't we notice that kids are learning differently now. So as a result of that, we launched flashcards to make it easier that they can take it around. And these words, I keep saying this is my best flashcard in this whole thing. Words of affirmations. That's the best for me in Ibibio and also in English. We have storybook in names extraordinary journey. We have coloring book, and I mentioned earlier that I've been privileged to be in the school system. It was as a result of some schools noticing what we are doing that they recommended we write textbooks for them. So textbooks that kids will want to pick up and look at it the first time, second time, third time, over and over and over again. So we designed textbooks for schools, and they are colorful textbooks, easy to read, easy to learn. And we're even seeing adults pick it up to start learning gradually. So I've introduced my own books. I want to introduce.
I think you have lots of comments that you should respond to too,
Oh,
because I've seen.
okay. Itoro, you're okay. Itoro, you're doing well. Can this awareness be extended to the state government? But my heart breaks hearing that parents are asking schools to. Yeah, we are trying. We are trying. We are hoping that because um I was privileged to meet with the governor last year in November, and he saw the work that I've put into in terms of preserving the language, and he more or less told me to speak to a couple of people. You know how this thing works. You know how it works. I'll just leave you at that.
Yeah,
And
you're
I
right.
Yeah.
think somebody saying, "But we need a podcast going." True,
um,
true.
I'll think about that. Yeah, so Dorothy Epic was actually subjecting my school, and it did me a lot of good. You see, someone has highlighted it did her a lot of good there, but we need a podcast going through it. Is oh, okay. Yeah, I said I was going to introduce you guys to Auntie's resources as well. Just bear with me. Let me just grab it. Um, I have like every time I travel back home, I try to get Ibibio books. I have a couple of them up there. So I have Auntie's book. So this is if you don't have this book, if you don't have this book, this is our folk tale in a pot. They've cooked our folk tale, cooked it, put afang, put momoikong water. Momoikong is water leaf. Put
Mfi,
mfi, not to say mfi. Mfi. They cooked it well. This book, if you don't have it, I don't know what you're doing. So this has our folk tales. Like the first time I read this, it brought back a lot of memories in terms of the stories that the folk those it is not happening. I don't see these things happening anymore. Ekonke, I don't see that anymore. Then you see this one, Speaky Bibio. This is from Auntie as well. The whole idea around names. Auntie has a chapter about names and their meanings. They are in here. So
yeah,
if you're looking for these resources to start to learn, we have it. And we are also trying to work with other authors because we need more resources. That's one thing I realized. We don't have good resources, quality resources that children can pick up, adults can pick up and read and want to read over and over again. We don't have those. So I'm trying to find more people that can design, create these things for us to help preserve this our beautiful language. And for those of you that maybe in terms of pronunciation, we have a YouTube channel and there are animated videos for kids. So I will order all of them. We have a website. If you're in Nigeria, you can drop me a message And if you're in diaspora, we have a website we ship worldwide from the UK.
They
So you
can
can order on
DM
the
you.
website.
Itoro is new on Instagram. She's saying
See,
drop message. DM her.
sorry.
use
Please, people
use
should
the
bear with
words.
me.
Use the right
DM, people should. I'm still learning these things. I like to be in the background, to be honest. I like to be in the background, but with this, I'm having to, and I think Auntie's gone off again. I'm having to come out because I can't continue to hide for forever. Yeah. So uh please, are you guys part of the diaspora group? But I need to include you. Please, Annie, I think we may have to talk because as if we need to do there's you are the one that asked for Akisan. You are not part of the diaspora group, so you I'm a part of Bon Kwarai Video Manchester chapter. So if that counts, but any other organization, I'm not um a part of it, or we are not part of it. Any other question before we've gone more than 1 hour. Ooh.
It's been an
Any
interesting
question, comments?
conversation.
Hopefully we'll be having more of this. And Booker Roots, we are having the next we are going to have a conversation soon. My namesake Itoro. I can't wait to have you on live here. Okay, so I think in summary, in conclusion, and see final words, Inyene, final words.
Let Auntie go first.
Okay, here I am. Okay, what I will like us to go home with is that a friend tak ntara
Tara.
seto. So it is important that we hold on to our heritage, we hold on to what we got from our forebears. And it's also very important that we pass on. If I didn't have grandparents that told me tales, I would have nothing to pass on. If I didn't have parents that exposed me to the language, I would not be able to thank Ibibio. Ibibio is part of our lives. I've had a case when somebody walked into an office many years back because the person just knew my name. He didn't hear me speak Ibibio. He stood right there and said, we don't bendito, all this place. So I looked up at him. He was shocked. So it is important we hold our language tight so that when the need comes, nobody will bully you or abuse you and get away with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Inyene.
You said something to roll out, from United Nations, some of the language that might go extinct in the, maybe in the next couple of years. And one of us here to put in that if we're not careful in 10 years time,
Yeah.
call languages like Akwa Ibom and all might go extinct. And to be honest, the way we're looking at it, if we don't start creating this awareness that Itoro, Auntie, and some other people are creating, truly, that's the reality. It might actually go extinct. Even our identity, even as our culture. I traveled to Lagos when I was in Nigeria a few months ago, and I remember when I went to see my mother-in-law and I took Tommy, the Yoruba culture, and I told her from the airport that she's going to have to kneel down to greet the grandmom because it is the culture where she's going to. And as a child, she was like, is she royalty? Is it? Why am I saying this? The Yorubas are still holding on to their cultural heritage. It is a strong thing. But we, like Auntie said, it is ignorance. And the only way we can awaken this is by creating awareness, little by little. You might be thinking you are doing something small, Itoro and Auntie. You are not. It might not be as blown as you are, but small, little by little that you are doing like this would help the preservation of our culture. So I'll just end with this. Being proud of your identity. Ibibio, Ekdoe, Fagorono, all. Being proud of it means that you recognize, I think I've already mentioned, but I'll just end with this. You recognize the resilience and the contribution of your people to a broadened African and global cultural beliefs that our grandparents have always believed in. I was with my colleague who has worked with UWS for 37 years. He is Scottish. He said something. He said that when the wife gave birth, and the reason why I'm bringing this is to show that there are some cultural things that we have that it's been there, and but we always kind of really think that, oh, it's Yibo. No, he said something, and I've been told that thing within my culture as an Akwa Ibom person. He told me that when he gave birth, the midwife told him three things, and the midwife is an elderly woman. He said, one, that children grow up so quickly. We all know that. Two, that when you have a child, don't try to make the home not to be noisy. Make it a very noisy home. I remember when I gave birth to my daughter, and I'll keep her. My aunties who are Kwaibomites, when I say, shh, don't say anything, he said, no, raise your volume. Let the child get used to sleeping in a noisy environment, so that even if it's noisy, the child can still sleep. Why am I saying this? This is a white person that told me, oh, Yibo, I don't want to use Yibo, that told me this thing. But this is something I have heard as part of our culture. So you see how strong this culture is. And then he said something again. He said, when children begin to be mobile, when babies begin to be mobile and they are crawling out of your sight, don't run to them. Because when you go to them, they will be saying, let the game begin, because children are like puppies. And you then be, we have that and something, I can't really, but there is a saying, like that. So staying connected to your roots and passing those values to future generations should be what we should be creating this awareness for. Let's stay connected to our roots so that we can pass it to the future generations. Thank you, Itoro.
Thank you so much, Inyene. Thank you, Auntie. So we've heard it all. I don't think I have any other thing to say, but thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for staying back to join us in this conversation. Hopefully, we'll have more conversations around this topic, and I think I just saw a page that just came up now, Ibom Weddings. I like what they're doing in terms of portraying our tradition, our culture through marriages, through events. I love what they're doing in terms of pres- preserving our culture through images, through those stories those events that happen in Akwa Ibom and even in Diaspora as well. So thank you, everyone, and please let this not be the last of this conversation. Let's have of more conversations around our identity, our culture, our heritage. Like we've been saying over and over and over again, we need to do this. Nobody's going to do it for us. We ourselves, the Akwa Ibom mites, we need to do it for our children, our children's children. Our forefathers played their role. They did their own part. It is now our time, our turn to do our own. So please, let's continue this conversation going forward, and hopefully we'll have Buka's roots next. Hopefully, yay! So thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful evening. Nitoika esiero. Esiero
That's
Nitoika.
it.
Aseo.
Oh.
Esiero.